folks, there were so many instances from this interview that would have effectively ended anybody else's campaign out there. Like, for some reason, like, she is just the most unqualified person to ever run for president ever. But listen to the question about Laken Riley and other people murdered by illegal aliens. It did, again, horrible answer.
Jocelyn Nungary, Rachel Morin, Laken Riley, they are young women who were brutally assaulted and killed by some of the men who were released at the beginning of the administration, well before a negotiated bipartisan bill. Former President Clinton actually referred to Laken Riley Sunday campaigning for you in Georgia, saying if those men had been properly vetted, Laken Riley probably would not have been killed. So if it wouldn't have happened, this is well before any negotiation. This is well before Donald Trump got involved in the politics. This is a specific policy decision by your administration to release these men into the country. So what I'm saying to you, do you owe
Brett,
those families an apology?
Let me just say, first of all, those are tragic cases. There's no question about that. There is no question about that. And I can't imagine the pain that the families of those victims have experienced for a loss that should not have occurred. So that is true. It is also true that if a border security had actually been passed 9 months ago, it would be 9 months that we would have had more border agents at the border, more support for the folks who are working around the clock trying to hold it all together.
Madam Vice President.
To ensure that no future harm would occur. And this election in 20 days will determine whether we have a president of the United States who actually cares more about fixing a problem, even if it is not to their political advantage in an election, because there was a solution, Brett.
Madam Vice President, it was a policy decision in the early part of your administration. I will let one of the mothers talk about it. Take a listen.
Because of the Biden-Harris administration open border policies catch and release, they were enrolled in the Alternatives to Detention program. This meant that they were released into the United States. It was not even a full 3 weeks later that they would take my daughter, Jocelyn Nungary's life. I believe the Biden-Harris administration open border policies are responsible for the death of my daughter.
That's the early days. So do you owe them an apology is what I'm saying.
I will tell you that I am so sorry for her loss. I'm so sorry for her loss. Sincerely.
The Biden administration, along with Kamala Harris, again, she was put in charge of the border. Her title was Border Czar. Her title was Border Czar. And her title was Border Czar, and it's just unbelievable to me. Rolls back 90 plus executive orders from President Trump that kept this border secure. And she cannot even say that she's sorry for the loss of these Americans at the hands of her own policies. Like, look at this and how the media has responded. Oh, I got to show you this. Look at this. From NPR. Harris interview on Fox gets testy, but also gives her a do-over. From CNN. Kamala Harris spars with Fox News anchor in testy interview. AP. Harris's interview with Fox News is marked by testy exchanges over immigration and more. Kamala Harris's Fox News interview from The Hollywood Reporter opens with testy exchange and interruptions from host. If you watch this interview, Brett Baier could not have been more soft-spoken. He could not have been more professional. And folks, I was a little worried that Brett Baier was going to ask her softball questions, but he did not. How about CNA? Fiery Harris vows to break from Biden in testy Fox interview. What do you see from all of these things? The same word, testy. And I gotta wonder, folks, listen, like, who's passing out the talking points to the media that they all say the same thing? I mean, this is truly unbelievable stuff, is it not?